We are out at a Virginia drop. It's about midnight. We're going to be out here roughly 10 hours. They have provided the list of bottles, but they have not told us what bottles will be at each store. What bottle am I going to get today? Stay tuned to find out. Hey, I am here at the ABC. It is officially Saturday. I got here a little after midnight, camping out because ABC is doing a drop on Saturday. However, we do not know which bottles are gonna be at this store. Some may call that stupid. I may agree with those people, but I am out here anyways. They did give the list of potential bottles. We could see ourselves here. We could see a Weller Full Proof, Weller 12-year, Weller Single Barrel, Weller CYPB, Blanton's Straight from the Barrel, Blanton's Gold, potentially Michter's 10-year Bourbon. I think Heaven Hill 18 is also on the list, but the issue is you just don't know what is going to be at each store. So you kind of have to go out, be willing to risk whatever time you're willing to spend to potentially get just one of those bottles. To me tonight, personally, I am looking for either the Weller Single Barrel or the Weller CYPB, but we'll see if I'm lucky enough to get those. Stay tuned. Ended up being fourth in line when I got there, which puts me in line for one of the top 6 bottles. When we got to the store, we noticed they actually had put the list out for the next day on this table here, but my eyes were not that good and it was really hard to read. Here's a still photo shot we took. It is very difficult to read. See if you guys can see better than me. But we think we can make out Weller Single Barrel and Weller CYPB. But again, this is very hard to read at this point of the night. One of the nice things about this location is they have a Starbucks. They open at 5 a.m. and I had to run over and get myself a coffee. All right, got my Starbucks order. Got the caramel macchiato here. I don't go to Starbucks often. I just grabbed it. It looked good. But I don't know. For you Starbucks aficionados, let me know what I should have gotten. I don't know what the best thing to get there is, but cheers. I think it's gonna do the trick this morning. Now roughly 7 a.m. and we are over 12 people, so with the top 2 cases, if there are lottery bottles, would be taken. About an hour before open, the manager was super nice and brought out a printout of all the bottles they had. So it was helpful for us to go through and we could actually think about this without being on the spot when you're in the front of the line. So we are able to see here that we got lucky enough and they do have a couple lottery bottles. Top here, we see some Blanton's Straight from the Barrel. Now, I don't know a lot about Japanese whiskey, but for $700 for the 18-year-old, that's gonna be a hard pass for me. I'm sure there's someone out there that has been dying to find it, but for me personally, it's just hard to stomach that type of price point for any type of whiskey. And then if you flip it over on the back, we also have Weller CYPB and Weller Single Barrel. Now, after we got the list, I interviewed a couple people to figure out what bottles they were looking to get. These 2 guys are the front of the line, great company all night long. Unfortunately, my audio was corrupt, so I wasn't able to play it for you guys, but they were an absolute blast to hang out with all night long. Now here comes the excitement of them opening the bottles and putting them on the counter. I did feel bad for these workers. It's almost like being in a fishbowl here. Like all of us are outside staring through the window, watching them do this. But I have to give props to the ABC employees here today. They did a great job. As they're unloading, I was holding my breath because I hadn't seen them yet, but there is the Weller Single Barrel and also right behind it, the Weller CYPB. One of the nice things about this drop was the amount of allocated bourbon they had. As you can see in this picture, they had roughly 6 cases of Blanton's, over 7 cases of Eagle Rare, 9 cases of Buffalo Trace. So if you're looking for one of those bottles, you did not need to camp out. They were sitting well throughout the day, so it's just nice to see people would be able to get those bottles. Okay, I just got back from the bourbon hunt and it was extremely successful. I was able to score the Weller CYPB. I am excited to get this bottle. This is one of the top 2 bottles I was looking to get today, and our store, fortunately enough, had both. It had both the Weller Single Barrel and the CYPB. The Weller Single Barrel went first. Everyone grabbed that. I was the first one to grab the CYPB. Then the rest of the single barrels went, and then the rest of the CYBs after that. So I did get there entirely too early though for that bottle, this bottle that I got. I got there around midnight. That was about 5 of us. The 6th guy got there around 4 a.m. to close out the top 6 bottles because Wellers come in cases of 6. And then the 12th person who was able to finish up the 2nd case of Wellers got there around 7 a.m. So that person was able to get there 7 hours after me and got the same bottle. But that is entirely the luck of the draw. Who knows if the store had the bottles, and you really don't know how many people are at the store until you get there. Like some stores I was reading on the local groups filled up around midnight at 12 people. Some groups only had 1 person showing up at 7, so it really is the luck of the draw. So I chose the CYPB today from the bottles that were listed. It was the CYPB, the Weller Single Barrel, the Blend Straight from the Barrel, 1924, and then EHL Small Batch. I would say were the top 5 bottles in this drop. Let me know in the comments which of those you would have picked if you had the choice. Almost everyone went with the Weller Single Barrel first. It makes sense. It's the higher secondary bottle. If you're going to go out and secondary and buy it, it's the highest replacement cost. But for me personally, I was trying to find a bottle that I think would make for good content, be good blinds, good reviews. With the Weller Single Barrels, they're all single barrels, so it's kind of hard to really do reviews on them. But these, I think, are batch products, so I think this would be better content going forward for you guys. And even though it rained, we had a cover where we were, so we didn't get wet. And I was surprised it actually slept pretty well on the sidewalk tonight. I for sure thought I was going to have just miserable sleeping conditions, but I don't know why, but I actually slept through the night pretty well. So that wraps up my hunt today. But if you're enjoying this content, before you head out, check out this video or this one. And until next time, cheers. You make it look like it's a
crime scene?
Yeah, crime
Yeah.
scene. It's
Dun dun dun.
like